things I noticed on the drive home was that she sure was bouncy. Whatever, it's an old truck, shocks are shot, that kind of stuff. But this thing bounces a little bit much just for, you know, shocks are shot, if you know what I mean. Are you still bouncing? Yeah, it's still bouncing. So it's like we got shocks literally doing nothing. Do you ever see something like this? I have. Actually drove something like this before. It's not fun. Let me take you under my skirt and show you what's going on. Let's go for a walk. Hey guys, so I'm gonna have to do a little voiceover here because apparently I don't know how to keep my thumb off the microphone on the GoPro. So here we are underneath, and you can see why this thing was bouncing so bad. The lower shocks are actually attached by Bluetooth, which works great for headphones, not so much for shock mounts. These two bolts, it seems simple enough. You just pop those off, change the mount, and away you go. But those bolts are going to be a nightmare, I can promise you right now. Other side, same thing, except this side's got a nice repair on it. Well, that is, they tie wired it out of the way so it didn't rattle anymore. Not great. Down here on the bottom, you can see it's rusted away, and you can see where this booger weld once, I don't think it ever held. I think they welded it, lowered it, and it just popped right off. At first glance, it looks like maybe I welded it, but I assure you I've never seen this truck before, so it's not one of my welds. Save it, I don't want to hear it. How's that? Same thing on this side. We won't need to pop this plate off, just the two bolts. Seems simple enough. I want to reuse the U-bolt. I know I shouldn't, don't care. If I can get those nuts off of there, I'm taking them off, and I'm going to reuse the U-bolt. It's been there for 50 years. It knows the terrain, it knows the job, it's got experience. It'll hold this thing in place, and you know, throw some new shocks in there, and she'll be good to go. Back over to this side, I think I need to get a little PB blaster on there. Maybe I'll clean them up with a wire brush first. Anything I can do to give myself a bit of a head start when it comes to taking these off, because I don't think it's going to be as simple as just pop them off. I have a heat induction coil I bought off Amazon that I think will come in quite handy for this. I haven't used it before, and I think this will be a good opportunity to give it a go and see how well it works. I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube about it, but I've never actually used it. The uppers, well, the rest of the frame looks pretty good. The uppers for the shocks, they're fine. They just need to be unbolted and new shocks bolted in once the lower mounts are done. So, I don't know. I don't think there's too much more to say about it. Just need to get back up top, and man, those welds are bad. Look at that. Isn't that terrible? It literally looks like bubblegum. But hey, what are you gonna do? Guess you gotta get the old Makita out and clean her up a bit. Not that it's gonna hold anything. Anyway, let's go up top. We'll get some PB blaster. We'll get these cleaned up, and we'll get ready to go right about now. Okay, so before I pour the heat to these, I thought I would just try and hit them with the old ratchet here and see if they come off first. So let's do that. Hopefully this one pushed in all the way. All right, here we go. Happening. All right, rounded that one. Perfect. I think that's time for some heat. You know, before I break out the heat for these, this is the passenger side, I'm going to try this Milwaukee high torque. Now, my buddy Nolan says this is all I'll need for the tightest of bolts. So we're going to put that to the test right now. Of course, he never mentioned the chrome socket, but one thing at a time. All right, we're on number 4. We're out of excuses. No way. Newsflash, that ain't working. Alright, time for some heat. Okay, so here's my Amazon mini inductor kit. This was one of the least expensive of all the kits. But it came with a few attachments. So I think there was a kit or two cheaper, but only came with one attachment. So that's why I chose this one. And it came with keys to the briefcase. Whatever. So I don't know. As you can see, it's still pretty pristine. That's because I haven't used it before. Here's the instructions over there. We'll consult those if we need to. Doubt it though. It's got a button on it. So yeah. All right. Let's see here. Let's see what happens. I'm going to press the button right now. We got her. Ow. Okay, let's try the second side. This guy's cooled down enough where it's ready to go again. I went and got this guy. This is our new one. Probably didn't need to say that, but that's our new guy. She sits in there just like that. So you can see there's not like a whole lot missing there. Just the important stuff, eh? Anyway, yeah. Apologize for this lighting issue I got here. So yeah, there's our new one. So I'm going to heat this up again and we'll give her one more go. And I don't know, I mean, at some point I guess you switch gears and start looking at cutting it off and replacing the U-bolt. I have a feeling that'll just turn into a thing, something I probably don't want any part of. All right, let's see what we got here. Alright, I'm going to try the induction again. Put this on. I'll let this thing cool down quite a bit. I'm hoping it'll make a difference. I guess we'll see here shortly. It takes about 2 minutes. I'll fast forward all this. You can see it's smoking already. Both sides. This side took a little more fighting. In fact, I had to go buy some impact sockets because I just wasn't getting it. So now I'm just going to throw it on. I'm hoping I can get her on there. Get her on here anyway. Okay, I know it looks like I'm just sitting around watching Mortski do burnouts on YouTube, but I'm not. In fact, I did get this kind of finished up. Let me show you where we're at. This is what we ended up pulling out. This was the driver's side. It's installs like that. Somebody had booger welded it all together. Not to be confused with my welds. And then this side here just broke off. Somebody had tried to booger weld on there too. And there's some of the really great welding that kind of came through. Just kind of just gobber on there, I suppose, is the thought process behind it. Sitting down on here, we decided to do some welding on, anyway, that doesn't really matter. Maybe I'm a little finicky. I'm a welding inspector by trade, and the truth is, I work with some of the best welders out there. So when you look at somebody who welds all day every day for a living, the stuff that they do, and then you look at something some farmer did to keep his truck on the road, yeah, there's a pretty big difference. At any rate, let's get
had it not been for that induction heater, I don't know, man, that thing really paid off. That and the Milwaukee High Torque combined saved me from having to replace this bad boy, which I know can be a bastard. And all you guys are going to say you should never reuse these U-bolts. Yeah, you know what I say to you too. These things are a monster, and I'm not into it. I'm too old and too fat to be doing that up here. So we had to reuse that hardware because I just didn't have anything kicking around. These new shocks came with no hardware. Thanks, Rock Auto. I did have some extra stuff laying around that I managed to make work for down below. And same thing on the other side and up top. Reuse the old hardware up top. I don't think it's so bad, actually, because it's got a sleeve and everything in there. It all fits nice and tight. Everything doesn't seem to be an issue down here. Yeah, I don't even know. It's not so bad. I had some stuff, new stuff, so it's okay. Again, down here, These washers didn't survive, but the nuts themselves do. Ended up heating those nuts probably 3 times with that induction heater, and using that impact back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Finally got them off. The shocks themselves, more of a struggle than I anticipated, to be honest. I didn't even bother recording it, because really, what's to show? You got a bolt coming off at the top and not a bolt going on down here. It's not exactly rocket science, but you know how this stuff goes too. Oh, let's take a look up top now. I'll show you guys. Remember how this was bouncing before. Oh, there's that kit. I don't have a link for you or anything, but if you look at this and then go on Amazon and punch in mini inductor, you'll find it. It is one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest. I don't think it's the cheapest, simply because it came in different attachments. Remember earlier I was bouncing this thing? Oh, well, let's try and bounce her again. She seems like she's sitting up higher, eh? All right, here we go. Boy, that's money. I like that. I'm a fan. So there you go. The big thing was the shock mounts. We got those on. New shocks are installed, but you know, big deal. And that's gonna do it for another little shorty. I don't know. Hope you liked it. Hope maybe it helped you out. Maybe it didn't. Either way, think about subscribing. I could use some subscribers. Still pretty new on this whole YouTube thing. That'll do it for this one. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. We'll catch you in the next one. I'll try and have another one up here in a couple days. Cheers.